Hello, you guys. I want today to talk about a specialized saddle. It's really a very important a saddle that everybody should consider, in my opinion, for a simple reason. Specialized removed the art of choosing your saddle and the guesswork out of it. They did that already with that geometry of their saddles, and they created sizes for you. So you just go there, sit on this memory foam pad they have, and they will measure the width of your sit bone width, and then they will recommend appropriate saddle for you. Right. So the only thing is, I think it's missing that they should actually have a way that you could purchase this memory foam online to do your own measurements if you're going to buy the saddle online, because what I've noticed that not all of the shops have the memory foam setup, although they have the saddles, they sell the saddle. My experience with it, this is the second saddle I had. And the first one was the Power Expert, and this is the Power Comp. They are basically the same geometry and the difference in weight. So every bike I buy, this is my second road bike, I change the saddle on. So I suffered from saddle sores, all kind of pain. I couldn't complete a decent 5K without standing up, pulling over to get some kind of rest on my sitting area, and it was really painful. However, I've tried the route of going there, choosing saddles, taking the saddles from fitters, trying them out for a couple of weeks, and then see if they fit you or not. The problem with that approach is you always not sure, is it the saddle that is not fitting you, or it needs to go a little bit forward, a little bit backwards, it needs to be tilted up, downwards, etc. So it's really messy setup, and it's basically either you get lucky or not. However, with this saddle, I just went to the shop, measured my sit bone width. They recommended the appropriate size for me. It was 155. There is, I think, 135, 145, 155, 142. Sorry, 155 and 168. I'm not really sure, but my sitting bone width were and the sufficient in the 155. So, and that's actually what I've been recommending to everybody. Whenever you bring in cycling for anybody, they will tell you, oh, but it really hurts. I'm not comfortable on the bike. It really makes me uncomfortable and with a lot of sores and so on. So what I tell them, that it's not that cycling is uncomfortable. Basically, you need the right fit of saddle. So, and you see people, beginners, go by all kind of gadgets. You know, the gel pads, they put it there, which is really uncomfortable because it will cause a lot of shaving. Because a thick padding will just make you move around, and that will cause you shaving on a longer distance. However, appropriate saddle size and fit is the key, regardless of the padding. The padding is secondary. It makes it a bit more comfortable, but it's secondary, and that's why you see a lot of pros have those carbon fiber seats which have zero padding to reduce the weight, right? So it's not about the padding, it's about where your sit bones fit. And that's why it's difficult for people to go and do cycling and take up cycling if they were unlucky with the first bike. With the first bike they choose, right? The saddle on those first bike might not fit them. So, for instance, I bought the bike I bought, the Scanion Enduro Ace, which I will talk about some later session, some later video, is basically came with this the Saddle X3, I think it's Sella Italia, and my TT bike came with this Prologo saddle. Both are good saddles. This is with really nice thick padding, with wide and channel for comfort, for relieving the stress. However, as you can see, they don't really match the geometry of my sit bone, so the width is not perfect. Whenever I'm riding those, I feel like one of my sit bones is there on one of the wings and the other is on the air, right? So it always feels uncomfortable for me. I couldn't do 5K without really stopping and standing up and so on, although that I have fitness, but it's really painful. If we compared those two, you can see the various differences in this. So what is really nice, right? So you can see the various shapes. It's not really showing in the video, but this is curved in a way that it makes it fits so the geometry makes it fit, so you don't really need to choose a lot of or try a lot of saddles shapes and types in order to figure it out. So this kind of, they call it, I think, geometry body or something like that. They really hit it on the head, right? They made it. They made the right design. It's perfect. It has the right slope to it. It just and since there is no one size fits all, what they really did is they created different shapes. Now it's even evolved, and there is a new kind of power saddles, but those power saddles are a miracle in my book, and they just changed my whole experience. And I describe it to a lot of beginners who are looking to start cycling, that when you get the right saddle, it's suddenly the experience moves from sitting on a rod into sitting onto a couch. It really supports you. It's very comfortable. You can do a lot of long distances, a lot of hours in the saddle, and also, most importantly, when you have it on a trainer, which is extra painful because the bike doesn't change, right? It's really fixed. It's bolted on to the trainer, so it doesn't move naturally. So there is no much of release that you would usually get from outdoor rides. However, and that makes a proper fit saddle is very important. So if you're doing a lot of indoors, it's really nice for you. If you are doing long distances, it's very nice for you as well. In my opinion, although it is around it ranges from $130 to $160 without taxes. So although it's not cheap, but it makes the world difference between completing a comfortable, productive ride versus just keep stopping on the side to have some release, or feeling the numbs, and so on. So it really makes the world difference between a proper cycling productive session and uncomfortable one, and not only uncomfortable. It's really having side effects where you have numbs that might have a long-term effects. So I really recommend this saddle. It's one of the recommended ones. I've tried it and I've recommended a lot of people of it. Everybody who complained about saddle and pain, and although they have the fitness, but they couldn't really find their appropriate saddle, I tell them to start with a specialized power saddle, and then you can tweak around with it. So then after that, you might take it a bit backwards, forwards, tilt it, etc. That's the tuning part of it, right? That's the fitting part that makes it comfortable or not. However, without knowing for a fact that this saddle fits your sitting bones. You would always do a guesswork. So the traditional way is to go to a fitter. You will try a saddle for a couple of rides and then come back and then try another one and another one. Although that saddle might fitted you, but needed a push backwards, or needed a 1 degree tilt or so, etc. You would never know, and I've been through that route, and it's really consuming a lot of time. You're not really sure, you're afraid, you don't know what to do. And you have, from cost perspective, you have to consult a professional fitter, right? Because you don't know what's going on. With this, however, what I really liked is that, yes, I bought this and I fitted it myself. I have zero experience in bike fitting, but since I know that this bike fits me, this saddle fits me, this saddle is what I need, I just played a little bit with it, right? I have it on my trainer. I took it a bit forward, I took it a bit backwards. I've played a little bit with the tilts, couple of degrees down, 1 degree down actually, 1 degree up, etc., until I found my groove, and that was about it, right? So, but with the other saddles, I couldn't do that. I've tried, but it feels futile, because I have no guarantee that those other saddles fit my body anatomy and their geometry is really fits me. I just wanted a different kind of fitting, or a placement of the saddle on the bike. Having that out of the way, knowing for sure that this saddle fits your geometry because you measured it with a ruler, is really key. What I really hope that Specialized really did, instead of people, I have people that tried using this cardboard method, it doesn't work. What I really liked of Specialized is to have a way that either shops can buy this memory foam online. They don't have to be a full specialized distributor, or people themselves. For instance, I know a couple of guys here in my city that we don't have a bike shop with that memory foam setup, that they are willing to buy it. And couldn't cost a lot of money, and they were willing to buy it to make sure that they get the appropriate saddle. So, because you might think, okay, just get the bigger one, of course you fit. First of all, no, because as you can see, there is a cut through here. So if this is wider and then your setting points are a bit shorter, then you don't really, you are not comfortable. It defeats the purpose. And the other thing is, if it's a bit wider, then your thighs will rub here unnecessarily. So as you can see, its geometry is made that it's thin, it's a bit shorter. It's actually shorter than your traditional saddle, and basically it fits your thighs, so you don't have any wrapping going there. So as I said, it's not about this is a perfect setup. They just need to make it better with having people the ability to measure themselves, so they can order online or in a shop or etc. But without having that memory foam kind of setup, because it's really accurate, it stays for a while, there is no guesswork. I have a couple of guys who tried. Me myself even, I tried this cardboard setup. It really doesn't work. You have to have a special type of cardboards. I tried a lot of cardboards and I had inconsistent results until I went to the shop. I've tried this memory foam thing. It worked like a charm. So even after a while, I sold my previous saddle, and although I regretted it later, but I've sold it with the saddle on it. So when I bought this new bike, It came with the Sella Italia saddle. I just replaced it automatically with 155 Power Saddle. So that's it. You know your measurement. You don't have to keep looking for it. Even and this is not the exact same model, but it's the same number. So even I'm thinking to get the time trial or triathlon saddle 155 because I know that it fits me. It's the same kind of measurement, same kind of body anatomy and geometry. So this number is like your trousers size. You know that you wear this number, and then you always go to the shop, just pick up the colors and ask the guy to or the seller to give you the number, your size. That's it. Similarly for this saddle. So I really say that Specialized have solved a big major issue with cycling, which is the being uncomfortable on the saddle. They just need to tie the loose end of allowing people to do measuring on their own. So that's out of the way. Then I think a lot of people will pick up cycling and enjoy it much more. Thank you. Bye bye.